Hello again and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be looking at a special use of the adverbial participle called the genitive absolute. And this is what we do when we need to change the subject. The subjects of participles are usually the same as the subject of the verb that it modifies. Often that's the main verb of the clause. So if we read Thelesas artontina, te agora poruetai. That would mean, because she wants some bread, thelesas, she wants, artontina, because she wants some bread, she is going into the market, poruetai, te agora. Now, because the participle thelesas is a regular nominative case adverbial participle, we presume that the she who went to the market is the same she who wants some bread. But what if we want to say that somebody is doing some action in the participial clause and that person's different from the person doing the action of the main clause? Well, that's where the genitive absolute comes in. What happens is we place the participle in the genitive case. And we also put in the genitive case any words that explicitly identify the subject of the participle. You won't always have an explicit subject, but if there is one, then those words go in the genitive case as well. And this can be a little bit confusing because usually these words, the participle and the subject, would be in the nominative case, right? So when they're in the genitive case, that's a signal to us that the subject of that participle is a different subject than the one that's performing the action of the main verb. For example, if we adapt that same sentence that we saw a moment ago, we might read Thelesantos arton tu autes technu, te agora poruetai. Now we're saying Thelesantos in the genitive case, arton tu genitive autes technu. So tu technu is actually the subject of the participle, and the participle is also in the genitive. So when we are recognizing this, the first thing we're going to notice, hopefully, is that the participle is in the genitive case. And then that's what's going to cue us to the fact that, all right, the genitive nominal, technu, is also the subject of that genitive absolute participle. Otherwise, the genitive to technu would really throw us off. But we're saying there, because her child, tu autes technu, wants bread, thelesantos arton, she is going into the market. Now, notice that the she in poruetai is not the same person who's doing the wanting in thelesantos. The person doing the wanting is tu technu, it's her child. But the person going into the market is the woman herself. Let's look at another example here. First of all, we'll look at a sentence that uses a regular nominative participle, and then we'll look at a similar sentence with a genitive absolute. So we might read, Porusamene Maria te agora, uk arton egorasa. And this would be a concessive adverbial participle. So we're saying, although Maria went to the market, porusamene Maria te agora, and notice that porusamene and Maria are both in the nominative case. Although Maria went to the market, uk arton egorasa, she didn't buy bread. Now, because the participle is adverbial and is nominative in case, we can presume that Maria is both the subject of porusamene, the participle, and the subject of egorasa, the main verb. But if we want to change those subjects, we need to shift the participle and the subject of the participle into the genitive case. So we can say, Porusamenes Marias teagora, uk arton epolesen. Now we're saying, although Maria went to the market, it's still a concessive adverbial participle. Although Maria went to the market, he didn't buy bread. Uk arton epolesen. Now the subject of epolesen is uncertain here. We're not sure actually whether it's a he or a she. We would have to infer that from the wider context. But what we do know is that it's not Maria who didn't do, not the buying, the selling. It's not Maria who didn't sell bread. Maria is the one who went into the market, but somebody else didn't sell the bread. And how do we know that? Again, because porusamenes is in the genitive case, and the subject of that participle is also in the genitive case. And that's what we call the genitive absolute. You can learn more about the genitive absolute in Mounce's Basics of Biblical Greek and in Wallace's Basics of New Testament Syntax.